My name is Rachel. I'm a 30-year-old office employee. I currently live with my 33-year-old fiancé, Paul, who works at the same company as me. And next year, we're going to become husband and wife. We had already agreed to Paul's family about the marriage, and next up was my family. However, to be honest, I wasn't looking forward to it. I had a little sister that was going to turn 25 years old this year. And because my parents were obsessed with my younger sister, I had to tolerate all kinds of things for her sake my entire life. Even all of my favorite clothes and bags, if my little sister said she wanted it, my parents would say, "You're the older sister, so you need to give it to her," and she would steal all of them from me. I always felt excluded from my family, and ever since I was able to move out, I haven't come back to visit them since. But I did think I should at least inform them that I was going to get married, so... I'm home because I had told them that I was coming with my fiancé with news the entire family had gathered and were waiting for me. But not one person was smiling.
Hey, Rachel, that bag is so nice. I think it look good with my dress.
As soon as I walked in the door, my sister Karen locked onto my purse. Even though I said I was bringing my fiancé to meet them, this was the very first interaction. On top of that, even though I haven't seen them in a few years...
You're right, Rachel, you need to give Karen that purse.
I can't give her this one. It's my favorite.
What are you saying? You're the older sister! Act like it!
Do you not like your own little sister, Rachel? I haven't been able to see you much lately, and I so just want to feel closer to you by using your purse.
Ugh, how fake.
You're such a kind, sweet girl, Karen. Rachel, you need to be the bigger person for your sister. Oh, so you must be Rachel's father, mother, and her younger sister. Hello. The name's Paul, and I have the pleasure of dating Rachel. I hope to marry your daughter, if you will. So please give us your blessing.
As though he was trying to stop the three of them, Paul suddenly rushed to greet my family.
By the way, what do you do for work, Paul? I work at the same company as Rachel.
In that case, your salary must not be very high.
You don't even know what my salary is.
Wow, you seem like a super amazing person. I've never met someone as handsome as you. You're handsome and nice. That's so hot.
Hey, wait a minute. What's with your heart-shaped eyes?
You're a fun little sister. You're not anything like Rachel, are you, Karen?
What does he mean by that?
Exactly, isn't she a little angel? Karen is cute and so loving. She's a type that's loved by everyone around her. Unlike Rachel, who doesn't even have a shadow of affection.
Hey.
Aw, come on, Mr. Paul. I can't believe you would hit on me in front of my own sister. You're so forward. But I don't hate it.
I couldn't stand by and watch any longer. Then, when I tried to stop it, Karen looked over at me and grinned. When I saw that face, it gave me chills. I knew that the usual routine was coming.
Your fiancé's so nice, Rachel. Hey, Rachel, will you give me your fiancé?
What?
There it is.
That's true. I think Karen's a much better fit for Mr. Paul.
If you make Karen, with her youth and cuteness, your wife, you'll be able to brag to everyone.
As usual, my parents are on Karen's side.
Rachel, you need to offer your fiancé to Karen.
Excuse me?
I'm sure this man actually wants to marry Karen deep down anyway, but because he's trying to be mindful of you, he can't say it out loud that he wants to trade fiancés. Isn't that right?
There's no way. But I looked over at Paul, who was sitting down silent. He wouldn't say anything back.
See? Read the room, Rachel. Mr. Paul fell in love with me at first sight. I'm sure he's thinking that instead of plain old you, that cute younger me is way better. Even said I'm a fun person already. He's already hitting on me. It's so cute.
Mr. Paul, there's nothing for you to be embarrassed about. If you're going to marry Karen, then you absolutely have our blessing.
No way.
And this is the birth of a beautiful husband and wife.
Everybody was in the mood to celebrate Paul and my sister's wedding, and I was about to break down in tears at any moment.
Hey.
That was when Paul opened his mouth.
What is it, my darling?
It may be true that Rachel and I are not a good match for each other.
Is this really happening? Even Paul is saying that.
Because Rachel is an extremely intelligent woman who's kind to everybody and even has the most charming smile. Not only that, but she's brilliant at her job and people call her the monster of thoughtfulness. Anywhere she goes, there's a field of flowers when she walks. Rachel looks like the most elegant lily. On the other hand, as a dinosaur nerd who only spends time with his dinosaur friends talking about dinosaurs for 32 hours, and exhausting my family in the past with my obsession, I'm no match for the perfect woman, Rachel, who left all of her flaws in her mother's womb, but I'm gonna spend the rest of my life working hard to become a man worthy of Rachel. So please, allow me to marry your daughter!
I knew it. Paul doesn't realize that my family's looking down on me. He misunderstood and thinks that they're looking down on Paul. Even though Paul can be a little bit airheaded sometimes, I was shocked by this, but I instantly felt my tears dry up.
That's not what we meant.
This is amazing. Even this bratty princess doesn't know how to respond.
I'm going to work harder at my job, and I'm going to cut the time that I spend on dinosaurs in half. No, I'm going to reduce it to a third. So please, approve of my marriage to your daughter, Rachel.
What? Listen, like I said, that's not what we meant.
I promise I'm going to work extremely hard so that you all approve of me. Sure, I don't know how to respond.
To my disbelief, he was able to make my entire family go silent. Paul bowed his head, and while everybody else was stunned, he took my hand and we walked out of the house.
I'm sorry, because I am entirely unworthy. Everybody was against it.
Not at all. My family actually really liked you.
What? Really?
And then I explained to Paul how my little sister was serious about going after him, and how I had spent my entire life having to let my sister steal anything that mattered to me from me. Maybe I should have told him all of this before he met them, but I just couldn't bring myself to say it.
Are you saying that your sister was seriously trying to steal her own big sister's fiancé? I thought they were against the marriage, and that's why they were telling me to be embarrassed.
I don't think that's what they said.
Something about me needing to be embarrassed?
Oh, that's not what they meant. They were actually really complimenting you, that you were attractive and that you had a nice voice.
I see. But even though you're this amazing, Rachel, I can't forgive them for treating you like this. If anything happens again, you have to tell me straight away. I promise I'll protect you.
Thanks, Paul. At that time, we just thought that we were somehow able to get through with Paul meeting my family. However, that night, I received dozens of missed calls and messages from my parents. And they were all to tell me to give Paul to my sister. I didn't think that I needed to be involved with these people any further, so I decided to delete and block all of my family's phone numbers. I wanted to get even further away from my family than before, but unfortunately, those people refused to give up. A few days later, the unimaginable happened, and that was when I was on my way back to the office after having a meeting with a different company. To my disbelief, my parents and my little sister were waiting for me right outside of my office where I worked. Hey, what are you guys doing in a place like this?
Where is Paul?
He works in the same office as you, doesn't he? There's no point in hiding him.
Why would I hide him? And who are these people? Paul's younger sister, Paris, was with me, and she seemed confused as she asked me, I'm so sorry. My parents and my little sister suddenly showed up at the office.
Oh, I get it. So this is that family of yours.
I had already spoken to Paris about my family before, so it seemed she immediately understood the situation. And that's why she was looking at them like it all made sense.
Who the heck is this little chihuahua? Don't tell me that you're also after Paul. You better not be.
Obviously, there's no way. She's his little sister. But these people don't know that, do they? I was trying to think of what to do when Paris then said the most startling thing.
What? Wait a minute. Are you also after Paul too?
What? But Paris?
Silly Paul. He's left the pudding in the office fridge since 3 days ago. It's going to expire the day after tomorrow, so I was secretly going to go after it if he's not going to eat it. But I didn't expect to have a rival.
Pudding? What kind of nonsense are you talking about? You better not lay hands on my Paul.
Hey, don't be rude. Do you know who you're speaking to? Your Paul? Unfortunately for you, Paul isn't an object. And plus, no matter what happens, there's no way that you're ever going to become closer to Paul and me.
Because she is his little sister.
What? What's going on here?
And that was when the desirable Paul arrived.
Oh, my dear brother, how are you today?
And then she said that, Paris jumped right in to hug Paul.
Hey!
When Karen saw that, she was absolutely furious.
What is this, Paris? Are you practicing some new stunt?
Knowing Paris, she was probably thinking about having some fun with these three.
This is outrageous. Even though you have an amazing woman named Karen in your life, you would have another woman like that.
That's right. Even though you said that you would marry me, Paul, why are you getting so close to that woman?
Not only did Paul never say that, she's being way too rude to speak to Paris like that. That's enough! Leave! Cut it out already!
What's your problem? Just because you're so afraid that I'm going to steal your fiancé, this is your fault for blocking my number and ignoring my messages. Even though you know it yourself, Rachel, that Paul fell in love with me at first sight. You saw it. He called me a fun person and he was hitting on me right in front of you.
Oh, Paul, you call this person fun?
Well, about that, not only was the conversation not adding up at all, I just couldn't understand anything she was saying. Isn't that kind of fun?
At that time, Paul wasn't really listening to what my sister was saying to him. So all he could do was laugh it off and act like he knew what was going on.
What are you saying? When you were leaving, you said that you were going to do your best so that we could give you our blessings for marriage.
That's right. You vowed down to us that you were going to work hard to make sure that Rachel accepts our marriage.
What? That's how you took that?
Well, must be hard to have a little sister like this. No matter what you say, they just interpret it so that it works in their favor. Those people must have all the personal interpretation machines in their brains.
What did you just say? I'm not interpreting anything so that it's in my favor.
That's exactly what you're doing.
But you said it yourself that you and my sister aren't a good match. So what you're trying to say was that instead of my plain and humorless sister, you have more fun being with cute me, right?
I think what he was actually trying to say was that unlike the intelligent and kind and well-mannered Rachel, his rude and confusing and ill-mannered little sister is barely human even when you give her the benefit of the doubt.
And this is why you know me better than anyone in the world, Paris.
But of course, because after all, there's nobody in this world that's closer to Paul than me.
What did you say?
Paris, she's having too much fun.
What is wrong with this guy? Even though he has a fiancé, he's hitting on another woman, and he has a woman at the office. Karen, you need to leave this man.
That's right. No matter how good-looking he is, this person is out. He's a perfect match for Rachel.
Thank you very much. Did you hear that, Rachel? Your parents approved of us.
No! But if I say that I want something, then I'm definitely going to have it. I'm going to steal everything that matters to my big sister, and I love watching her face when she got upset about it. So I also want her fiancé. It doesn't matter to me what kind of a person this guy is. I'm never going to forgive her for getting married before me. I should be the one getting married first, and I should be the one to be happy.
Everybody was shocked at Karen's outrageous words. Even my parents, they were lost for words.
If you're not going to marry me, then I'm going to destroy your marriage.
What?
I'm going to tell everybody in the company that Paul is having an affair with me. And when the rumors get around, everybody's going to be talking about you in the office, and that'll be the end of that. You're not going to be able to come to work anymore, and then you're going to become poor, and the relationship is going to fall apart, and then you're going to end up breaking up and left all alone. They say that when the money runs out, the love runs out.
As she said that, Karen started running towards the office. Hey, Karen! We all ran after her, but she was already inside. Karen swung open the door of the office and at the same time yelled inside.
Excuse me, everybody! Listen up! Paul here, despite having a fiancée named Rachel, he was cheating on her with the little sister. That is me. And not only that, but he's declaring what a close relationship he has with this little toad of a woman. He's the worst kind of man. Everybody should be careful around him.
But then everybody that was in the office went silent because
I knew it. I had a feeling that something was going to happen today.
the first person who spoke with Paul's older sister, Phoebe.
You always have such a sharp sixth sense, Phoebe. So that's why yesterday you rushed to put cameras in front of the shop.
And then the next person to respond was Paul's father, Mr. Peter.
What? Cameras?
Oh, honey, I did it again. It's not a shop, you mean the office. Looks like we have quite the crazy guest today.
Paul's mother, Mrs. Penny, chimed in.
Whoa! So this is the family we've heard so much about. Whoa! Are they real?
And the person that was giggling was Paul's younger brother, Kevin. That's right, this company was a company run by Paul's family, and everybody beside me in the office was a family member.
My little sister, Paris, is the owner of this company. My parents and my siblings all work here, and so everybody here knows exactly what you're trying to do.
Little sister?
What are you so shocked about? You heard me call Paul my brother.
What is this? None of this is funny at all. I'm just trying to destroy my sister's happiness.
If that's the case, then you should have said something in the beginning! You're all crazy! Karen, let's go! I'm sure you'll be able to find a much better man anyway, because unlike Rachel, you're cute and much more adorable!
That's right. If you're going to marry Rachel, then you must not have an eye for women anyway.
This is way too awful. I always knew that they didn't like me, but I never thought that they would take it this far.
I do hope you find somebody better than Paul.
Paris?
But as long as you're feeding out of your parents' palms and you can't do anything by yourself, and anytime you see something you roll down on the floor and cause a tantrum, I can't imagine anybody would find a 25-year-old woman like that cute or adorable.
Hey! How dare you say something so rude to somebody's daughter!
Look who's talking. You've been saying the most rude things to your own daughter. Karen and Rachel are both your daughters, and if you're going to be obsessed with Karen, why is it that you can't treasure Rachel, who's also your daughter? We just wanted Rachel to grow up to be a strong person. That's the only reason why we were being strict with her. We do treasure her.
Of course, I can understand how it feels to want your oldest son and daughter to grow up to be strong.
What?
But you know, I also hope that the younger brother or sister also grows up to be strong. In our family, we never say because you're the older sister or the younger sister. We don't use words like that in our family when we raised our kids. Because once you go into the world, it doesn't matter if you're an older or younger sibling.
But...
Shut up!
Ah!
In the end, you idiots made it seem like you're obsessed with the younger daughter, but you don't actually love either of your children. Hand over the fiancé for the younger sister. If you're going along with that kind of whining, that's not love at all. If you're true parents, you have the responsibility to scold your daughter when she's doing the wrong thing.
Mr. Peter.
Whoa there, I got a little bit too heated. I'm gonna go back to work, so I'll leave the rest to you all.
What? I already contacted the police.
As Phoebe clicked away on the computer, she let that slip.
Police?
Phoebe is always on top of it.
If you barge into your daughter's workplace and you cause such a commotion, trying to tarnish her name, of course there's no way we wouldn't call the police.
I already contacted my lawyer friend too. And with this, that's case closed.
This family's the best.
Liar!
Threatening and stalking. Don't worry, the lawyer will take very good care of you.
I've already gathered the footage from the outdoor and indoor cameras around the office and saved the day.
And that will be irrefutable evidence.
What is wrong with these people?
Whatever! Everybody run!
Wait for me! Just like you said, Paul, they were really fun people.
The three of them were clamoring to get out of the office. But in perfect timing, the police arrived and they were all caught. Paris then handed over all of the video footage to the police. After that, I sued my family for slander and for stalking Paul. I was able to get a restraining order on them, and I was able to cut off all ties from my family. Paris also sued them for disrupting business, and so the three of them were left deep in the hands of the lawyer. However, all three of them refused to take responsibility, and they threw a major tantrum at the lawyer's office as well. Apparently, they were arrested by the police, and after that, the family fell apart. Of course, each one was riddled and dead. Even after they were released from prison, the only thing waiting for them was a life of having to work around the clock to repay their debts. If you really do love your child, then you have to compliment and scold them. Thanks to Paul's family, I was able to have the most magical wedding to Paul.
This is from your grandpa. He said it's for you and the daughters. He said that it's grandma's homemade. Sometimes I'm jealous of the girls. Phoebe, what's inside?
Oh, I can tell that it's pudding, isn't it?
My father-in-law walked into the office with a box of pudding that he received from Paul's grandfather, Mr. Patterson.
Rachel, you like pudding, don't you?
What? But...
Yes, it's pudding. This is why Grandpa and Grandma are the best. They get it. Here, Rachel.
What? Is there enough in there for me?
Of course there is. Because you're my daughter, Rachel. If they didn't put it in, even if it's my mom or dad, I would show them no mercy.
You're part of our precious family after all, Rachel.
But Paul...
Here, sister. This pudding is delicious.
Paris... When I got married, I was finally able to have a family that took care of each other. This is the first time I ever felt the true comfort of a family. So thank you, Paul, for giving me a family.
Thank you for watching! What kind of crazy people will we get to see next? Stay tuned for more!